Why is it around the holidays that we spend so much more money than we should be spending?
How much you need? About $52,000.
We spend like we're in Congress. We call it Christmas spirit. And then we place complete confidence in a future version of ourselves who is somehow wiser, calmer, and who apparently makes better financial decisions than we do right now. January did not sign off on that plan. I don't want this to be one of those hyper motivational financial guru in a suit style videos.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I don't want 2026 to be the year of pressure or hustle or pretending that we're gonna suddenly fall in love with spreadsheets. I want it to be the year where money stops surprising us, stops stressing us out, and stops feeling like a constant source of anxiety.
No! God, please, no! No!
If you're looking to find peace with your money and you want to learn more, I encourage you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you what your #1 goal for money is in 2026. I realize that this year, most of my stress didn't come from not having enough money. It came from not knowing what was happening with it.
Room's starting to spin real fast.
Every time I opened my bank app, it didn't feel like checking numbers. It felt like I was opening up a bad test score that I had already suspected of. And the worst part about it wasn't even the balance, it was just the confusion. It wasn't one big dramatic purchase draining everything. It was little things stacking up quietly. Random fast food runs, subscriptions I forgot existed, impulse buys I forgot 5 minutes after making them. It wasn't financial disaster, it was financial erosion. And when you don't know where your money is going, every number feels personal, like it's judging you instead of simply reflecting your habits. I remember when I was in college, it was right around Christmas time. I knew I didn't have much money left in my checkings. So because of that, I just didn't look at my bank app. It made me feel better in the moment because I didn't have any worries in that moment. But it ended up creating so much anxiety just days later. And sometimes I still get back in that habit. So in 2026, I'm doing something simple, not dramatic. I'm making a real budget. Not a perfect one, not a complicated spreadsheet, not something I'm gonna track every 5 minutes. Just an honest look at where my money is actually going. I'm going back over last month, grouping money into real categories instead of idealistic ones, and being brutally honest of what my habits actually look like, with zero judgments. Because this first step isn't about cutting anything yet, it's all about removing the surprise factor.
Yeah, that's right. We've got to use the element of surprise.
So I encourage you to make your first real budget. Look at all your spending from last month, group the big things into categories, and focus on awareness, not perfection. Because once you actually see where your money goes, you realize something else pretty fast. It's not always overspending that hurts. It's that one unexpected thing that shows up out of nowhere. And that's why I recommend building a small emergency buffer. When people hear the phrase emergency fund, they immediately picture some massive number that feels impossible.
9,986,000.
And when something feels impossible, we don't start at all. But most of the stress we have isn't caused by some huge disaster. It's just caused by normal life stuff that happens at the wrong time. A flat tire, a surprise medical bill, something in the house breaking. Those aren't tragedies, but without a buffer, they feel like the world is ending. And the emotional toll isn't just the money, it's the panic, the scrambling, the feeling like you're always one small event away from everything collapsing.
Hey, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
During COVID times, I really had absolutely no idea how close I was to being broke because I didn't have an emergency fund. I didn't even have health insurance at that time, and I ended up getting COVID 6 times. God willing, none of the viruses got too bad, but honestly, I was one hospital visit away from being absolutely broke and devastated.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
So in 2026, I'm not trying to build 6 months of savings overnight. I'm building a bad day fund, enough to absorb normal life without emotional chaos. $1,000.
$1 million.
It's not glamorous, it won't impress anybody, and it doesn't feel exciting, but it creates peace. I'm gonna be parking it somewhere boring, not touching it, and letting it exist for one purpose, so that when life inevitably shows up,
I am inevitable.
I don't immediately go into survival mode.
Bro cut off one of my dreads to start a campfire.
Okay, this is cool. Look, here we go.
So I encourage you to build a $500 to $1,000 bad day fund. Separate savings only for real, unexpected expenses. And here's what I realized next. Most of us don't fail because we don't know what to do. We fail because we rely on our willpower. And if motivation worked long-term, we'd all be thriving in every area of life. But motivation fades, and habits built on motivation collapse the second life gets busy.
Yeah.
Hey Michael, accounting needs your approval on that.
No, I'm busy right now.
I used to tell myself I'll save whatever's left over at the end of the month. But here's the catch. There was never anything left over. Not once. Because if saving is optional, it becomes accidental. And accidental savings just don't happen. So instead of trying to become a more disciplined person, I decided to become a less involved one. I took myself out of the decision-making process entirely.
I guess I'll just stay home and eat dust bunnies.
One way that I've actually done a really good job at this is investing in my 401k through work regularly. I know that's a little bit different than a normal savings account, but I started taking 6% of my paycheck and investing that automatically every single paycheck. After doing this for just a couple months, I didn't even realize that that money was going there, so I wasn't missing it. It just happened automatically. So in 2026, I'm going to continue to automate that one thing. Not everything, just one of the habits that I failed at so often for so long in my life.
That is why you fail.
Whether that's saving, paying certain bills, or investing a very small amount, it already happens before I get the chance to take myself out of it. Because when something is automated, you don't rely on motivation. You rely on systems. And systems don't forget, they don't get tired, and they don't talk themselves into exceptions. But there was still something deeper that I had to deal with, the emotional side of spending. I realized I didn't regret spending money. I regretted spending money on things that I didn't care about to impress people who I didn't like with money that I didn't have.
$430,000 in 1 month, Jordy?
And then instead of fixing the problem, I responded by feeling guilty about all spending, even the stuff that generally made my life better. That guilt doesn't lead to smarter habits. It leads to shame spending, impulse buys, and then even more guilt after. It's a cycle and it runs on emotion, not logic. So instead of asking, how do I spend less? I started asking what spending actually matters to me. So in 2026, I'm doing what I call a guilt audit. I'm cutting the spending I don't care about, and I'm fully allowing the spending that genuinely improves my life without shame attached to it. Because money shouldn't exist to prevent pain. It should also support the things that make life actually feel worth the living. And that leads to the last shift, the one that actually changed everything long term. I used to think that exciting finances meant progress, but exciting finance usually means chaos. Money constantly moving, reacting, adjusting, scrambling. It feels active, but it's just exhausting.
We're not sad. We're not sad. We're just not 21 anymore.
The seasons where my finances felt boring were the seasons where I had the least stress. No big swings, no panic, no last minute juggling. Things simply worked. And that's when it hit me. Boring is not failure. Boring is stability. Boring is peace. Boring is control.
I'm fine.
And this is when anxiety started to go away from me. After I had systems in place, goals for the future, and started doing the next right thing, my life started to fall into place. So in 2026, I'm choosing predictability over flexing.
That is the peck pop of love.
Fewer surprises, fewer dramatic changes, more consistency. I want my money to feel calm, even if it doesn't look impressive to anyone else. So I don't want 2026 to be the year that I get rich. I want it to be the year my money finally feels quiet, steady, predictable. The year where my bank app doesn't control my mood.
Because the way that my bank account is set up.
And normal life doesn't turn into panic. Now, if you only choose one of these goals, which one would change your life the most in 2026? Let me know in the comments below, because I think most of us are trying to build the same thing. Not wealth first, but peace. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.